Welcome back, students, to Business Applications for Machine Learning. Today I want to go over practice set 1A, and I'll be doing it in R, just so it's easier for you guys to view. Now, again, notice I broke up the practice sets into practice set 1 and A, lab 1 and A. After each particular lab breakup, I want to actually have a practice set just to make sure we're all on the same page. All right, so I'll be doing it in R. Go ahead, delete this. Zoom in a little bit. And I'll save this for you guys. And here you go, folder. And I'll call it Lab 1A Solution. Not that you need R to do it. I just want to put it in here, so it's easier for you to see, and that way we could test out some of the other concepts. Right. So first things first, I give you guys this HTML code, and I then ask you a couple questions from RVest. All right. Given the URL for the HTML above, right? This HTML. What is X in the code below? So we have a few lines of code here, right? Firstly, let's pretend this is a web page somewhere called www.desserts.com. So we do UR equals, we read it in using read underscore HTML, put it in our variable called page. Page is now the data container that has the HTML tags all in it. And now I'm calling HTML underscore elements on page, the page object, with the parameter dot fruit style. All right. Now remember, there's three main functions we used: HTML underscore elements, HTML underscore text, HTML underscore ATTRS. Obviously, I have all those questions right here. Do you remember which one elements does? As I wait for the pause. That's right. Elements goes ahead and gives you the HTML tag. HTML tag. Again, as a review, an HTML tag is any particular HTML keyword that has these open brackets, right? These open brackets and then close brackets. So this is an open HTML tag, and this is a subsequent close tag. So you always have these HTML tags in this pair: open, close. And the close is always the same term, initial term, with the backslash. All right? So that's when we say HTML underscore elements, it's grabbing those particular HTML tags. Be it one, many, doesn't matter. It's just grabbing all of them. So here, it's going to look for fruit style, the class definition fruit style, all along the HTML. In this case, we have it here, we have it here, we have it here, right? So what ends up happening? What ends up happening here is it's going to go ahead and grab this, it's going to grab this, and it's going to grab this. It's going to grab the whole HTML tag that started with this fruit style, the whole thing, because we didn't ask for anything else. We just said, hey, wherever it's dot fruit style, remember the dot before it, it's referring to the class definitions. All these three tags, this is the first again, this is the open close, this is the open close. So all these three are coming back in the HE object, right? And it's going to be like a massive list object. And I say X equals H bracket comma 2. H just open bracket 2 close bracket. It looks like there's a space here, but it's not a space. It's supposed to be HE, then the open bracket, no space. Right, so what's this going to be? So what's X going to be? X is going to be the second HTML element that was pulled in, which was essentially this right here. So I can go ahead and copy this, right? And that's how I said I needed a place to just put the solutions. So the answer to number 1 is right there, this. All right. I'm going to put comments here just so we don't have all this. Right. And so for number 1, this is basically the answer, right, guys? It took the whole second elements, the whole second set. All right, now given that, right, given the URL below, again, same thing again. What is X? This part is the same again as number 1. This part is the same. This is now slightly different. right? This is now slightly different, the third line. Notice the difference. Now here, I'm again doing dot fruit style. Look for all the HTML tags where the class has a class definition of fruit style. The class property has a fruit style definition there, okay? But in addition to that, once you find that, then go one step further, notice the space, A, and find the HTML tag starts with A. That starts with A and then closes with /A. All right, that's what that means. Starts with A, then obviously what it closes with. Grab that in HE. So what's being grabbed now, guys? All right, here's our fruit style. I have to go one step further and look for any A within the tags. Well, there is one here. Boom. I'm going to grab this. Over here, this also is the same thing. This is also makes the cut. I go here, this also makes the cut. All right, so those three A tags are now grabbed and put in HE. Okay, and then I say X is simply the first element. So it's basically going to be the first one, which is that. Come here, and this is my answer. And again, it doesn't like it. I can put it in a comment. That's my answer. Oops. I don't know what just happened here. There you go. Sorry about that. All right, moving on right along. Number 3, same thing. What is X? Same as before. No difference in the first line. No difference in the second line. Now there's a difference in the third line. So as before in number 2, I did dot fruit style space A. Now I'm doing dot fruit style space span. So find all the span tags within the HTML elements that have the class defined as fruit, has the class being defined by fruit style. Again, here we go. Here's your span tag. Here we go. Within it, span tag. Here you go, span tag. Again, I get 3 of them back. All right, again, I get 3 of them back in the HE object. The HE object will have 3 of them. And I'm saying, give me the third element again. All right, so I come here, and it's literally going to be just this guy. Right, and that's my number 3. Right there. Number 4. All right, given the URL HTML above, what is X in the code below? Okay, again, same thing. URL, bam. Read into HTML, done. A slight difference here in the third line. Now I'm searching for all the classes that are defined by the quant style definition, So let me go identify those. So I come here, Okay, here's quant style. This, and that. All right, sounds good. So HE will have those 3 HTML elements. And then here I say, okay, HTML text, right? HTML underscore text will be, we're calling the HE object on HTML underscore text and storing that in HE.text. Okay, HE.text. And then I'm saying, okay, X is equal the third element in HE.text. Well, what happens here is, here, let me do this in more steps. I have this. I have that. And I have that. I don't know why there's tabs here, but okay. I'm sorry, I have this one right here. All right. Okay, So in HE, what's going to happen here, we're on number 4. So number 4, in HE will be these elements right here. Okay? This is going to be these 3 elements right here in HE. From there, I'm now saying he.text is going to be, we're calling HTML underscore text, that function on HE, the HE object. So what's going to happen is HTML underscore text is going to grab the text everywhere for all the HTML elements in HE and store them he.text. Cool. So what ends up happening here is he.text then becomes essentially a vector. It's going to go ahead and grab 5. It's going to go ahead and grab 3. And it's going to grab 2. Because these are the texts within the HTML tags. Now, I'm going to put quotes around them just so you guys don't get confused because they are still considered strings, not numbers. Remember, in our lab, we always had to convert the numeric data. Once we got into proper numeric data without the commas and dollar signs, then we have to call it an as do not numeric function to get it into actual numbers. So here, this is what HE text is going to end up looking like. That's what HE text looks like. And then finally, we just say, okay, x equals he.text, the third element. And guys, so x, really simple. It's going to be the third element, so x equals 2. All right, again, I put the quotes under it, so you don't get confused with the fact that, hey, you know what? This is a a string and not a number. This is a string and not a number. All right, number 5. So number 5, let's look at it. First line, same. Second line is the same. Third line is now fruit style A. Let's see, I think we did that before. All right, third line is fruit style A. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Right, so number 5, HE is going to be fruit style A. All right, so HE is fruit style A, the HE object. All right, so I come up here. Where do I see fruit style A? Fruit style A. I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to grab fruit style this guy. And I'm going to go ahead and grab A, this one. That guy. Right, so this is what an HE object is. HE object has these 3 HTML elements. And then, if I go back to number 5, okay, I now say he.text is going to equal HTML underscore text on that data container, on the HE data container. Again, we're stripping the data and putting it on under HE text. So he.text is going to end up being another vector. By the way, these are vectors too. So this is a vector, this is a vector. It's just, this is the first element of that vector. This is the second element of that vector. So it's the same concept. Actually libraries, but I mean, I'm sorry, lists, but it's actually the same concept. So he.text becomes apple pie, cherry sauce, banana pudding. All right. And then x equals the second element, so x now ends up being cherry sauce. And, oh, actually, let's just say x now ends up equaling cherry sauce. Here we go. And that is number 5. Number 6. Same thing. Given the URL before. Second line's 5. Fruit style, again, fruit style A. I do fruit style A again. So I'm going to copy my number 5 up to the third line. All right. now, slight difference, I now say HTML underscore ATTRS. Okay, now what does this do? This creates a list object. he.a becomes a list object. It's a list object that is going to grab all the elements within the A tag. So it has HTML underscore text. It grabs the text within the A tags. HTML underscore ATTRS get, again, the attributes. It gets all the, how would you say, defining keyword values within the tag A tag itself. See this, the opening tag, closing tag within A tag. So within here, there's two keywords, href and title. There could be 2, there could be 1, there could be 20. It doesn't matter, right? We're going to grab all of them. That's what ends up happening. So he.a becomes a list object. he.a becomes a list object. Oops. Right, where, see how I depict it. Now I'll depict it using, I guess, double brackets. It's probably the best way to do it, to emphasize the fact that it's a list. So the first one's going to be this one. All right, second one's going to be this one. Sorry, the href part, let me take that out. So that'll be the first value. Even though they do have these titles are still there as ways to, I mean, so these values have those definitions. Like this will be defined as an href, as a title. Somewhere that keyword is there. But just to keep it simple, the values, we'll just focus on the values. All right. So this is cherry. This is banana. And yes, I say banana because one of my South African co-workers used to say banana, and damn it, I like saying banana. And this. There you go. And this is what the he.a looks like. And I use the double brackets to stress the fact that it's a list. As you remember in our lab, when we're dealing with lists, we have to use the double brackets to grab the data that we need or want. And of course, in the last line, I literally do x equals he.a, bracket, bracket, 3, bracket, bracket, 1. So what does this mean? It means basically, hey, the third row of the he.a list and the first element in that third row. So x will basically equal the third row and the first element in the third row is this guy right here. So x equals that. See that? Much more straightforward than originally seemed. Number 7. What was that, number 7? That was number 6. Number 7, same again. It looks like it's the same as 6. It's the same as 6 basically, but over here, oh, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. I actually skipped, I went to 7. Sorry. So number 6 is actually the first element, oh no, I'm sorry, yeah, first row, second element. Let's go back here. First row, second element. If we were in class, you all would have corrected me. So here you go. Number 6 is the first row, second element. And number 7, we don't have to rewrite everything because it's all right there for us. It's pretty much the same as 6, except the difference is now it's the third row, first element. So third row for number 7 is third row, first element. So third row, first element is this. So I apologize, guys. I jumped the gun a little bit. For number 6, it was the first row, second element. And number 7 is the third row, first element. For banana. All right. Those two were relatively easy. Let me go to number 8. All right, number 8. Line 1 is good. Line 2 is good. Line 3, again, is like number 7 and 6, so that's good. Line 4 is like number 7 and 6 again. We do HTML attributes. All right. Oh, and now here I've thrown the sapply functionality. See how good how you get if you guys remember this. So here I'm saying, okay, take the he.a list object and parse through the list object for all the second elements. Put them in X. Excellent. So we want all the second elements. So here now, X is going to be a vector because we're going through and grabbing all the second elements. So the first value will be that. Just make sure, yes, second element. Boom. Boom. And finally, a boom. All right, and that's X. All right, so this is the first element right here, the second, and the third. Right, and that's what X ends up becoming, guys. Number 9. All right, here, now we're switching back to HTML's quant style. The quant style, if you remember from up here, the quant style is these values, and I have those. So number 9, let me go ahead and do that. So let me go ahead and grab the quant style ones. Those are the spans. Right here. Number 9. All right, let's go to number 9. So yes, HE is going to be these guys. All right, very good. From here, I grab the text. HE text is the text from there. Okay, so that's going to be the same as well. I grab it for all of them. So that's the same as number 5 is here as well. Let me just go ahead and grab that. So this is the same as well. All right, and then here I throw data tables in. I want to make a data table. I want a column called quantity, and it's going to be based off those values. Done. So DT now, the table DT, is basically going to be one column let me just create it for you guys. Probably easier that way. I'll just manually create it, guys. Alrighty. So this is how DT will look, just so you guys have it. There you go. So this is how DT will look, all right? And then finally, X equals, oh, I love this question. X equals the first, notice we have a comma here, guys, right? Notice we have a comma. So you guys, my AVI students, you guys remember this. To the left of the comma is going to be the row. To the right is going to be the quantity. It's going to be the column and any function we apply on that column. Right? It looks like we're applying the function sum. So on the first, we're picking out the first and third row. First and third row, right? So basically the 5 and the 2. And then we're saying sum the quantity column. There's only one column in this, guys. It's quantity. I can just move that over so it's easy to see. There's only one column here. So I think a lot of you would put the answer, oh, cool, x then equals 7, right? Right? A lot of you would put that answer. And that would be wrong. And that would be wrong, people. Let me show you. If you don't trust me, let me show you. All right? All right? So here, I'm filtering for just the 2 rows. You guys can see that down there. And now I'm going to say, all right, sum up quantity. Look what happens. I got an error. Why did I get an error? Because these numbers are actually strings. They're not numbers yet. We didn't convert these strings, see? We didn't convert these strings into numerics yet. That's why that's wrong. It's wrong. The actual answer is it's an error because the numbers are actually strings. We did not convert it to numbers. All right, that's a little trick. That's a little trick there for you guys to wake you guys up a little bit. All right, done. That's number 9. Number 10. What is X in this code? Excellent. So here I give you guys a little something outside just for you guys to remember how to do G sub. This is a G sub question, guys. So here I have this string called A. Right? And this is why I want to do this R, just for some of this other stuff. You guys can do it in person. All right, so before even I run it, I'm just fixing the quotes. But before I run it, what's happening here? Okay, it's going into the A string or column or whatever it is, depending on how we use gsub. And it's basically looking for everywhere where there's the pattern THG. Duh, that's it. It's just looking for duh. Right? And it's going to replace it with a space. So it's going to go here. I mean, it's going to replace it with nothing. So it's going to go here, take out duh, replace it with nothing, replace it with nothing, replace it with nothing. So when I run this, right, X now becomes this. This is what X becomes, guys. That's basically what X becomes. Does replace with nothing. This does replace by nothing. And that is replaced by nothing. Okay. Number 11. All right, here we have another G sub example. Excellent. This is the same basically as 10 with a slight difference. A very subtle difference, okay? In number 10, all right, in number 10, right here, if you look at line 71, the string we were looking for is duh, THE, okay? In number 11, in line 76, the string we're looking for is the space. So THE and the space. You see that? That matters. Everything within the quote matters. Matters. So this is going to be now THE space. So when I do this one, right, X is basically going to equal same thing as before. Same thing as before, except now the space after the is gone. See the difference between line 72 and line 77? So in this case, it found this and replaced it with nothing, hence there's no space before cat. It found this, replace it with nothing. That's why there's just one space here instead of two. And it found this and replaced it with nothing. Same thing. Same thing. And that's why the spaces are different in line 72 versus line 77. Number 12. And I gave you guys a lot of questions. All right, back to our HTML. Back to our HTML, guys. So here, I say, okay, grab the HTML elements fruit style A. Number 12. HE is going to be fruit style A. Come back here. All right, it's going to be the hrefs again. It's going to be the hrefs again. No problem, I can grab that. I have that. So that's what HE is going to be, guys. All right. Now, I say grab the attributes from HE, put them in HEA. All right, I believe I did that as well. We can do that again. Right there. Okay. And now, number 12, I do an sapply again into a variable y. So y is basically going to be the first element of all the lists in he.a. So y is going to be this vector. The first element, guys. It's going to be the first element. So it's going to be basically this guy. This guy. And this guy. All right. So that's why. And now we create that into a data table. So I'm going to cheat here a little bit. I'm going to give the proper definition of y. Remember, when we create vectors, we use the C function. Okay, and now I can put that in data table y just so you guys can see it. I'm doing this just for you guys. And this is what DT will look like. All right, so there you are. This is what DT looks like. The y over a little bit. And now we're at this point. Here now I have this command for all the rows. Again, I left the commas blank, so all the rows. Make x, a new column x, equal to g sub. We're using the g sub, substituting in the y column everywhere we see slash with an empty space, right? Everywhere you see slash with an empty space. So if I come here, we're making a new column called x, right? And everywhere where you see the empty, this slash, the backslash is going to be an empty space. So this is now going to become fruit, apple. Again, all the slashes are gone, replaced with nothing. Cherry, oops, fruit, banana. Right, and DT table now will end up looking like that because we applied G sub to it. Let me just copy this just so you guys can prove it to you guys. I'll run the command right here. Sorry. I run this. Type in DT down here. And as you can see, I wasn't lying to you people. There it is. There it is right there. See? Fruit, apple, fruit, cherry, fruit, banana. All right, that was number 12. Now let's do number 13. For number 13, we have another one is X question. All right, again, I'm using G sub, but this time, slight difference, I'm now using the bracket system, right? Now, the bracket system is something that is from, again, from regular expressions, and that is there to allow more power and flexibility. I mean, I said this before, regular expressions, I'm nowhere an expert in regular expressions, but regular expressions could be a separate semester class in itself. It's just so much there. Maybe not a whole semester, but I mean, it could take up a large chunk of a semester. Here, I give you something really simple. The bat copter. All right, and let me fix the quotes so you can see this properly. And I hope this example really hammers home what those brackets are doing. So those brackets, anything within the bracket, right, is basically saying it's looking for any element within the brackets. And then it's going to replace that with whatever is in the second parameter here, which basically means nothing. Quote, quote, basically nothing, right? So it does not matter what order you place it in the bracket, and I specifically chose OEA in this order just so you don't get confused that, hey, ordering doesn't matter. Anything within the brackets is looking for that character. So I'm scanning from left to right. A is there, boom, that's going to be gone. O is there, that's going to be gone. E is there, that's going to be gone. Right, so if I do this, X will equal BT CPTR, right? And you can see that down here. You can verify that for yourself. All right, and that's to, and again, I just wanted to emphasize again what the brackets means, you know, when you're using grep, G sub, or the regular expression combination function when we're taking text out from a small part of text out from a large piece of text, as we're doing in the lab. All right, number 14. All right, so extract the phone number from the following sentence. Batman, okay, we could do this. Let me just quote this right here. All right, we want the phone number from this. Batman has 23 satellites and 1,419 phones, but his main phone number is 1-800-Batman, all right? So I want to extract the phone number from the following sentence. Now, I mean, you relatively could do that easily, right? You just need to use the, obviously we're going to use the reg expression and the reg matches function with it, right? First, let me go ahead and fix these quotes. All right, but let's say we wanted to keep this as, I mean, we have a single value here. So, I mean, we could have just, I mean, if you wanted to cheat, you could just specifically put in that number. But let's say we have a bunch of these 1-800 numbers, right? And I say, I mean, a better way to phrase this question would be to say, okay, the phone numbers start with a 1, a dash, and an 8, and then there's, you know, there's 2 digits after the 8, then there's going to be a dash, and then there's a bunch of numbers or letters afterwards, right? How do you extract that number from a column of data? Okay, this is why we're going to use we're going to take the concept from number 13 and crank it up a notch. All right, so let's call this X. All right, and now I want to get the results from it. All right, so the code would be, I wanted to, right, X, and then the second parameter would be the regular expression. All right. All right, with the pattern and the text. So I want to strip it from X, right? So the regular expression, what am I looking for in X? So I want the pattern, and then I want to grab it from X. All right. I want the pattern in X, and and it's wrapped in the reg matches, which pretty much takes that text out. All right. So what's going on here? What do we want to do? Let's say hypothetically, I made the question more generic, where I said, look, it started with a 1, then a dash, and then a list of 3. Let's say a list of 3 numbers. All right, 3 numbers. So I will say 0-9. Now look, within the brackets, I'm using this dash. That dash within the number, don't confuse it with this dash right here. This dash literally means a dash. This is saying, look for all the numbers from 0 to 9. So this is the equivalent of me writing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's just some slang that we could do within the square brackets to reduce the amount of things we have to type. So that's what that dash means within the brackets. It basically saying, hey, all the numbers, all the digits from 0 to 9. Cool. All right. Now, we want it 3 times. It's 3 numbers. If I simply just did this, right, then it's going to just pull out the 1-8. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. And down here, you see, it's simply past the 1-a. Why? Because that square bracket is just looking for one iteration within the square brackets. Now you're saying to yourself, okay, but back in number 13, how can we replace the A, the O, and the E? It replaced more than one. Well, yes, it found that one letter and replaced that one letter. It just found it in multiple spots, right? In this case, we found one pattern that fit that pattern, and we extracted that pattern. But the pattern we defined was a 1 and a dash, and then a single number from 0 to 9 after it. And that's the pattern it saw. But if I were to do this, what does this mean now? Now this means multiple occurrences of numbers after the dash. And so if I run this, that's how I get the 1-800. You see that? That's how I get the 1-800 part. But I need this other part right here. I need this other part right here. How do I go up and get it? Well, after the star, I now say, hey, I need a dash after that. So if I do this, now you'll see I get the 100-800 and the dash. We're almost there. The last piece. I now need the final set of numbers. Well, in this case, it could be numbers, or in this case, it's the letter Bat. It's Batman. So look, I could type Batman. I could be very specific, but let's make it more generic. Let's say it's going to be numbers 0 to 9, or I'm putting a space there for more than or. It's going to be right, or it's going to be letters A to Z. You see that? So now after the dash, it's not just looking for it's not just looking for the number 0 to 9. It's also looking for letters. It's basically looking for everything at this point, lowercase in this case. Type this in. Notice it just gives me the first letter. Again, why? Because this box just means one iteration. If I want multiple patterns, I mean multiple numbers and letters in any combination afterwards for a limited amount of time, right? Then I have to put in the star for multiple. And now, people, I extracted the number. You see, that's how the square brackets and the star work side by side. Without the star, whatever's in the square brackets, it'll search for it. But once it finds it, it grabs it and calls it a day. If you want multiple occurrences of that pattern, you have to put a star, meaning, hey, many occurrences of this side by side, side by side, side by side. All right, and I went ahead and I grabbed this, the Batman. All right, and that's number 14. Again, we have another one here. Extract the phone number from the following sentence. Batman has 22 satellites, 1,490 phones, but his main phone number is 1-800-5555-88. Again, we already did the work for this because I made my previous problem so generic, right? All right, let's make this x equals again so you guys can see this, right? And I believe it'll work. I will still get the right answer using the same function again because I just made my original function so generic. And as you can see, I got, oh, thank you. All right, excellent. I'm glad I did this. So it stopped at for 555 because remember, we did one dash, any arrangement of numbers. In this case, it ended up being 3 dash, any arrangement of numbers and or letters, single case letters to start. In this case, 555. But we need another dash. We need another dash because there's another set of 4 numbers afterwards, right? And so I'll just simply just copy this again with the star. Zero nine nine. This should work at this point. Oh, didn't even like that pattern. Oh, there we go. I think I didn't run this thing properly. All right, cool. Star, and you run it, and it's working fine. I think I didn't run this X. It was still looking at this X. That's why. All right, so here you go. And now I went ahead and grabbed this, and now we're good to go. All right, so this is number 15. Hopefully by now you're getting a little more comfortable with the brackets and the stars, and with the content that goes within it. Number 16, guys. Okay, excellent. Another one. Extract the number of batarangs Batman has. This is going to be an easy one. This is actually like our the one we did in our lab. All right, let me just copy this. And again, it's going to be 1 instead of a dash. It's going to be a 1. Actually, I don't even want to make it a 1. I don't want to make it so strict. What if it's, again, let's just say this is a column of data. So I will put any combination of numbers followed by a comma, followed by any combination of numbers, again, followed again by a comma, followed by any combination of, let me get rid of this, numbers. So notice the bracket 0-9, star, comma, comma, boom. I go down and run this, and it didn't like it. 1251. Sorry again. I have to run the X. I keep forgetting to do that. Boom. Now I got it. 2,586. 7. Excellent. Really straightforward. Number 17. What is X? What is X going to be this code? Oh, we could go ahead and run this. So technically I probably would want to do this in the Excel sheet, but whatever. We'll go ahead and run it just so you guys can see it. All right, clean this up. what just happened there? Excellent. All right. So from here, what's happening? So y is going to be just this text string right here. Here now I do z equals string split y split by this character and fixed equals true. Now again, why do I do fixed equals true? Because string split by default is looking for regular expressions. It's looking for these definitions we do here in our regular expressions. In this case, we want to keep it simple. We just want to find a particular string within the y, substring within the y, and we want to split it according to that character. So that's why this fixed equals t. I don't even want to mess around with it. So what ends up happening here is if I run y, I run z, z ends up becoming two values, Joker and Riddler, because it found this character and is split by it. When you split by that character goes away. So literally it's just going to be Joker and Riddler. So if I were just type in z down here, you would see you just have literally Joker and Riddler. You see the double brackets over here. String split returns a list object. So here, if I do x equals bracket bracket 1, again, there's only one element in one list row in this anyway. It doesn't matter. Still have to do it. And then I do bracket second one. That is going to give me Riddler. So x will now be Riddler. And you can confirm it by just running the code 123 there and just typing in x right here. There you go. And number 18. Oops. Almost getting there, guys. I do the same thing again. Oh, I'm sorry. I just doubled up on number 18 for some reason. It's the same thing. So 17 and 18 are the same thing. Sorry, I just copied it twice. I'll just write down same over here. Move over to number 19. All right, in 19, we got more stuff going on. In 19, we go back. We're going back to our HTML stuff up here, guys. Back to the HTML stuff over here. All right, so number 19. Given the URL above, read in the HTML. Done. Find fruitstyle.a, he elements. Done. Fruitstyle a again, I believe is the hrefs. Let me go grab those again. There we go. Hrefs. All right, from here, 19. Get the attributes, done and done. I have the attributes as well. That's here. Right? And then here y is going to be the first element of each of the rows in the list object he.a. Excellent. Let me go ahead and do that. Y will be the first element. Done and done. I think we have that from before. First element. So I'm looking for the fruit apple, fruit bananas. Here we go. For these guys. And this is y. And dt is going to be a table off that. Excellent. I did that as well. All right, here it is. And you have your dt table. Oops, sorry. And now you have your dt table. and that's the y column. All right? So far, so good with number 19. Okay, now things are getting a little different here. Now we're saying z is going to be string split. The first parameter is all the rows in the y column of dt. It's these guys. Now, if you guys, my ABI students, you remember, when we call a data table without dot parentheses, it comes back as a simple vector. So it's basically going to be just these values as a vector, right? So that's what this part is going to be. And that vector is basically saying, okay, cool. So, split all the values in that vector by this slash fixed equals t. No problem. So z ends up becoming a list. It's going to end up being a list object of more than one value. Right? It's going to be a list object of more than one value. In this case, it's going to be 3 rows. A list object with 3 rows. So you guys can see what z looks like. So z ends up looking like this. See that? And then from here, the W is going to use the sapply command, going through each of the list rows and grabbing the third element. Grabbing the third element. All right, let me fix this. So what is W going to end up being, guys? W is going to end up being, what's the third element? Notice, by the way, this is excellent. There are 3 elements in each row. An empty space, fruit, and apple. Why? The reason being is because see how the slash is splitting by wherever the slashes are. So splitting it by here, that's straightforward. But see how the slash is on the beginning of that of those values? Well, it's going to split it there as well. It just so happens to the left of it, there's nothing there, right? But it still needs to split it wherever it exists. So it literally says, okay, the first object or the first value is nothing, is nothing, is nothing. But it's still split it by the slash. That's why there's 3 elements here. And when I grab the third element, it's literally going to be apple, cherry, and banana. That is what W will end up being. And then finally, over here, when I say, okay, dt is now going to be x colon equal w, what's happened here in the existing dt table, I'm creating a new column called x, and I'm just giving it the w values. So what ends up happening here is, let me copy this. dt now ends up with an additional column, x colon equals column, tab it in, oops. So there'll be another column called x with the values apple, cherry, banana. And that is what dt ends up being, guys. See that? Boom. Very straightforward. Finally, oh, that's it. I think we only had 19 questions. Or actually 18. Okay, so in this case, we're done. Looks like we only had, I thought for some reason we had 22 questions, but okay, looks like there's only 19, and we're finally done, and here are all the answers. So I'm going to include this, excuse all the X's here, I should have actually probably done this in a text file. In fact, let me, instead of giving you guys this, let me go ahead and just do Control A, Command A. So if you want to run any of these commands, just put it into a text file, and I will just go ahead and create a text file. So the answers are much more cleaner. So here you guys go. Right, here's all your answers. If you want, you can run this in R alongside with me. Some of the stuff, most of the stuff you can't, the HTML stuff you can't run. You have to eyeball it because of stuff that I don't give you a actual thing. So I'll post this one, lab 1A. But the grep gsub function, some of the stuff you can run in R if you just take some of the elements and just put it straight in there. All right, so I'll call this lab 1A underscore solution. And I will send this, and I will post this as well as the video with you. All right, guys? So this concludes our practice L1A practice set, and the next video will be for lab 1B video. All right, guys? Have a great day. I'll catch you guys later.